Bob Maloney from MyMMAnews.com, and I am talking to Dylan Harnish. It is fight week for Dylan, and Dylan is chasing his first championship belt ever coming up Saturday, April 2nd, All-Star Weekend, Art of War Cage Fighting, and his fight is Saturday night, April 2nd, and Dylan, my man, it's fight week. How you feeling, bro?
I feel great. It's been a long time since I've been able to fight. I think it was August. I got COVID right before my last fight for Stellar, and I had to pull out like the week of. So that was super upsetting. So I've been off itching since August. So,
well, listen, we know what your ultimate dream is, to become, a professional fighter and to do that for part of your career. So tell me what you've been working on a daily basis. Do you treat do you have like a regular fight camp, like for like a 6-week fight camp where you go on a plan and you have things, sketched out for you? How do you approach things these days? Listen, you're still an amateur, you're not a pro yet, but I'm sure you're practicing, to become a pro.
Yeah, all these, I'm always training. You know what I mean? There's never time where I'm out of the gym. So when I get the call for the fight, it gets specific, and I start working with my dietitian, Eric Pena, so to get the weight down and stuff like that. And then I have a good feeling that he's probably not going to want to stand with me for that long. So obviously always working takedown defense. I want to keep it on the feet. Yeah, I'm sure he'll be shooting at some point. He's really good. Honestly, he's really talented. I don't dislike the kid, and I wish I could sit here and talk shit and say I'm going to kill the kid in the first round. But I know I'm going to wake up Sunday and be like, oh, man, I was in a fight. But it's a fight that I'm going to win.
Well, listen, that's what I wanted to talk about. You're fighting Christian Bobe, who is a tremendous fighter and athlete just like you. Now, you had told me before that you actually, got to practice with him a little bit. Did you get to spar with him? Did you roll with him? Tell me about what you remember from, your time in the gym with Christian.
I was staying in Philly in like 2018 with one of my friends or something, and I stopped there one day. I think we got to drill together or spar together. I don't remember much of it. I was like 18. So it's hard to take much from that, but we're two totally different people. And it sucks because going back and watching film on him, his last two fights, that's not the Christian Bobe that I liked to watch. He just didn't really show up, and I'm expecting the best Christian Bobe possible because he had an Art of War title before, and he's coming off a 2-fight losing skid, so I'm sure he's going to do whatever he can to get it back.
Absolutely. Well, you said you think he's going to want to take it to the ground. Does that mean that in camp you've been working a little bit extra on the ground? How were you guys, attacking this camp as far as your skills? I know, listen, everybody has to be well-rounded and work every place, but when you're, analyzing this fight, you're telling me you think he wants to go to the ground. So does that mean you're working your jiu-jitsu and your submissions a little more? How were you guys, looking at it?
Yeah, we're working everything. Oscar Garcia, he's been training with us for the last couple months. He's a 135 pro, great wrestler. So he's been diving at my legs all the time. And there's days where I stop him and days that I don't stop him. And having Zach Vanderslice and Eric and stuff, Eric's a brown belt diving at my legs. So if I stop them at all, I feel like I'm going to be able to stop somebody at my size. If he shoots, leaves his head out there, I'll be able to wrap up a guillotine. I'm really confident in my guillotine with Eric. He's a brown belt. And then when I go out to Team Alpha Male, that's something we work all the time. And I'm confident in my takedown defense. There's, I think, one fight where I ever got taken down. It was Alan Liu, and he's now 5-0, looking to turn pro, and that kid would take anybody down. So,
well, listen, this is your first fight in advanced amateur rules. So obviously on the ground now, before regular amateur rules, you take them to the ground. There's no striking really to the head or anything. You're up to 3-minute rounds now. Are you excited about that? How have you guys talked about that? Because it's different rules now. So there's obviously going to be, some different techniques and different things involved.
Yeah, I think my last two Art of War fights, if they were advanced amateur, they wouldn't have made it out of the first round. I got a takedown in the beginning of each of those rounds. And if I had them both, I had one in full guard, I could have laid down some punches, and then I had George Byers mounted, I think, on multiple occasions. I'm excited about 3 minutes. I don't get tired. So I'm really excited about that. I'd like to push the pace, put him on his back foot right away.
Excellent. So will we see you, fight southpaw this whole fight, or do you think you'll be switching back and forth? We've seen the trend of a lot of fighters, going back and forth. I know you like to mix things up and confuse your opponent, not to give away any secrets, but, will we see a little bit of everything from you?
Yeah, I'm going to come out southpaw like always. If I don't like what I'm seeing, if he's bigger than I remember, bigger than I expected, longer, and I can't get in there, we'll switch it up. You know what I mean? It's I'm not one that you're gonna figure out in 3 minutes. So it might take him a little bit to get adjusted. I do some stuff that's kind of unorthodox. So yeah, we'll see how he reacts to the things I do. He's from a great camp, great coaches, a great gym with other great training partners. So I'm sure he got some different looks, but I just don't think it's going to be anything that mimics me. So I'm sure he'll be trying to figure it out. And I'm a lot harder to figure out than I think he is, but I'm excited for it.
Well, listen, it's been a few years since you've been in the business now. You know, what part of your game do you think has changed or improved the most since you started, training and fighting?
I think mental, even though I was always mentally confident, if things happened that I lost my last fight, I got dropped, my nose got broken, and I got up and I yelled and I cursed and I asked the ref why he stopped it. It's an amateur fight. I got dropped and hit 3 times, so I understand why they stopped it. But you don't know if you're tough until you find out if you're tough. And I'd never faced adversity before. And although I didn't get the win, I got dropped, got up, wiped my face off, took my gloves off, and I'm like, man, why'd you stop? I wanted to keep going. So you could say you're tough until something actually happens, and I've never faced adversity before. So I found out that when the going gets tough, I'm ready to keep going. So even though they stopped the fight, if I would have been able to get up and fight again, I would have kept fighting. So, and I know Bobe's going to bring the fight. I'm going to bring the fight to him. I watched a couple of his fights. He's tough. So I think mentally, you always improve. If that would have happened when I was 18, I might have been like, fuck this. This shit ain't for me. But now it's just all the mental game. I'm ready. I'm prepared. I took a loss in my last fight. I worked on I got caught. Is little gloves. I got caught. I'm just going to make sure that doesn't happen again.
Well, listen, it's a championship fight, so now you're moving on later in the card. I know in the beginning of your career, you're always one of the first few fights. Now you're moving closer to main event status and pro status. I don't want you to, look past this fight. It's one fight at a time, but this is your 6th amateur fight. Let's just say, you get out of this fight healthy, win or lose. Do you think, it's April? Do you think maybe by the end of the year you may be looking for a pro license, or do you not even want to think about that? You're just going to concentrate on this fight. I know that you're a planner, and I know that you and Eric talk about the future and advancing. So, have you given that any kind of thought?
So me and USKA, Gary Grant, we got something on the down low. I do have a title fight coming up for them sometime after April. So I got to focus on that right after this. And then, you know what I mean? If anybody, there's a couple of amateur fights that I would still like. I would like to get another title in different promotions. Maybe move up to 55, or if I have like a long 12, 14-week camp, get down to 35 and take that title for Art of War. It would be cool to hold 2 belts when there's promotions and stuff. We moved in the new giant gym, and all Eric's Naga belts and Sammy Strasser's PA cage fight belts and stuff are there. So that's all I want. Once I get a belt in there, then I focus on stepping to the next level. But until I get a belt, then this goal ain't changing. I'm looking for all the belts. Every belt this year, I want a title fight.
My man, Dylan Harnish, I'm so excited to be cage side, calling this fight on commentary. We are on the Star app pay-per-view, so this is also, I think, one of the first times your fight's going to be on pay-per-view. That's an awesome thing. And Dylan is always fun to watch. You're very animated in there. And like you said, you like to stand and throw. And it's always a pleasure to watch you work. Give some shout-outs or some love before we go, Dylan.
Of course, everybody, he trains in Philly, so I'm sure he'll have a big crowd. But my pop's going to be just as big. I got a lot of people coming out, family, girlfriend, friends, training partners. Eric and Oscar are going to be in my corner. He's been working my ass off for the last couple months, getting me ready for this fight. And my sponsors with MMA Company, Maverick last night. I watched Maverick. Don Parker got to fight. He was chasing the title. Unfortunately, he came up a little bit short, but Christian Carr looked excellent. That's someone I communicate with. And Artis Smith from 10th Planet, Bethlehem Finishers MMA. He went out there. He brings the same energy I do. He's talking shit the whole time. He's putting his hands down, smiling, talking to the judges and everything. So shout out to them as well.
Dylan, best of luck with you and best of skill. Go get that weight cut in. Get ready for this fight. Safe travels to Live Casino Hotel and Casino. Art of War weekend too. Dylan Harnish is going to bring it. Dylan, it's a pleasure. I will see you at the wedding, my man.
Always. I look forward to seeing you.